This podcast is sponsored by Carrick Competitions. They're one of the fastest growing competition sites in the UK. You can win cash, trips away, watches, cars, much more. And ticket entries are as low as 5p an entry. And they also have some fantastic, funny videos on their Instagram page at Carrick Competitions 1. Go check them out, carrickcompetitions.co.uk. You can see the logo there in the screen. Yep. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Thank you. Welcome back. Kitchen Talk, episode 25. This week we're joined by one of my favourite comedians, actually. You would have thought you did I think you were MCing the very first gig I did in Moddens.
I remember your first
So
gig.
you were.
I don't know, was I MCing it or?
You might have been opening,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I was one of the big dogs, whichever way you look at it.
This is Mr. Ian Thomson, everyone. You're very, thank you very
Hello.
much for coming down, Ian.
Thank you for having me. Can I just kick off by saying, smells delightful in here.
Do you know what? I'll let you know a wee trade secret. My ma actually cleaned the kitchen this morning, and she came into me whenever I was getting this set up, and she goes, "Are you thankful?" I says, "Yep." And then when I was just sitting talking to her, she goes, "We'll give another wee spray." Just before you come
Sterling
in.
job. It smells delightful.
There is a stark difference whenever she cleans it for a podcast guest and whenever I clean it.
Uh-huh.
I get her out for the big dogs, or you see, if it's just like Kieran Franco or something coming on, I'll give it a quick fucking rub down. Who cares?
He's not going to notice.
Nah, no chance.
Scruffy wee bastard.
There'll be fucking dishes in the sink and all. I just tell him not to look at it. But thank you very much for coming down, Ian.
No worries.
Comedian by night, landscape gardener by day.
Yeah.
Do you find now, might be a stupid question, does the work slow down in this time of year?
Not yet. It definitely will,
Mhm.
sort of in the next few weeks. But man, honestly, like the climate is so fucked.
Yeah.
That there's times grass is still growing in like December and January, and
That's a climate issue, is it?
I think so. I mean, I started full time as a gardener 10 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I think really in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, it's definitely milder all year round.
We did have Brian Smith on last week, and he was a big, he called himself actually a mental tree hugger.
Right? Okay.
And we were talking a lot about the environment, but I didn't even think that. We have a fella comes round. You see him the odd time to cut the grass, but I feel like you don't see him maybe like October until maybe March. I feel like he
yeah.
doesn't come round.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Some of the gardens will sort of put them into hibernation for a few months.
Uh-huh.
But some of them are just like constant. But this time of year, there's still grass growing, there's still hedges growing, and there's fucking leaves everywhere. So it's like all day at the minute, I just seem to be blowing leaves into a big pile
I was going to ask that. Is
and
that
then
what you're
throwing them into a trailer.
so easy work?
It's easy work, but it depends if it's wet. See,
Mhm.
wet leaves, they're heavy as fuck.
Aye, true. Actually, and do you ever get like you go to someone's house? I think I would feel this way if I was to go to someone's house and they're paying you to cut their grass or do whatever in the garden, and you think you're a lazy cunt because maybe it's not a big garden, like it could be done themselves.
Well, you say that, but you've just talked about you and your mum cleaning the kitchen, but we have a cleaner, so same
Mhm.
thing, you know.
I suppose it is the same thing. Although people busy lives, well, there's something therapeutic
Yeah.
about cutting the grass. Have you gotten away from that?
No, still quite like it. I don't know what you mean, but I'm completely immune to the smell of freshly cut grass. People are like, "Oh, it's such a nice smell."
Mm.
I'm like, I can't even smell it anymore.
Do you know I don't like it?
Do you not?
I don't know why. Never
Controversial.
really. I know it is a bit of a hot take. I've never really loved the smell. It used to remind me. I used to walk my dog up whenever I lived in Tullycornet, and the council would come out and cut the grass up on the hill, and I used to fucking hate it. And the dog would sneeze constantly walking down the hill. So maybe that's why I'm sort of
Yeah.
trained into not liking it because it upset the dog.
That's a very controversial opinion. Most people love the smell of freshly cut grass.
Here's another controversial opinion for you. What do you think about people dressing up as Nazis for Halloween?
Nearly as bad as dressing up as an Arab, I would say. I don't know.
Are you
like-
saying Arabs are the same as Nazis?
No, but I'm saying it's cultural appropriation on a similar scale.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, yeah, I suppose there's a bit of, slightly distasteful.
The reason I ask is there was a guy, I only saw this morning on Twitter. There was a guy in Georgia was out for Halloween just dressed up full blown
Georgia
SS
the
uniform.
States or Georgia former USSR?
No, Georgia the States. It would be a bit worrying if it was former USSR as well. Probably is some Nazis there. I don't know many Georgians. But But yeah, he was just like a student or whatever, dressed up full regalia. And the thing was that he wasn't just dressed up as like a Nazi like infantry officer. This was like SS, like I don't know what the fucking division was because I'm not big into the Nazis.
Yeah.
But
the lady doth protest too much.
But someone had done research, and the uniform that he had, you would only get that if you knew fully what you were buying.
Yeah,
it's like someone, and they said it perfectly. They said it's not someone who was there for the Holocaust. It was someone who was part of the engineering of the Holocaust. And what I loved is whenever I was going through the comments, obviously there's a lot of Nazis on Twitter these days. And do you know what the defence was for letting him, dress up as a Nazi? They were saying, so it's okay for people to dress up as the devil and Satan for Halloween.
Well, there you go. That's a very DUP.
Yeah, it's great.
Viewpoint. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. Like, but then I'm from a vintage where, like, I can remember being at fancy dress parties all the time, and there was always somebody blacked up.
Yeah.
So, but then it's like, where do you get like a genuine Nazi?
I know, and like
uniform?
how much would that even cost? Like if you were, and like what sizes did they come in?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know.
So someone made a good argument. They were like, it's actually a good thing he's doing it because it sort of minimalizes
keeping the Nazis relevant.
Well, that's also a benefit if you want to look at it that way. But they were saying it like minimalizes what the Nazi uniform is, so it's a bit like reclaiming like slur words. That sort of idea.
Yep.
I don't know though. I don't think that's why he was wearing the uniform. If you ask me.
Yeah, the Prince Harry did that
as a Nazi.
Yeah, so the like Prince Harry went a bit wild, I think, in his late teens and early 20s, and he went to it was all over like the tabloids. He was dressed as a Nazi and smoking cigarettes, which
it's fucking disgusting.
Almost worse.
I would say it is. But if there's anyone I think could do it, I think it should be the royal family. And I'm not saying like I'm a big royal family guy or anything, but kind of makes sense if they do it. It's kind of like a 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing they've done in recent memory. Like.
No, definitely not. Did you see the Cool FM were up interviewing people in Carrickfergus?
No.
So there's a street in Carrickfergus called Prince Andrew Way.
Yes.
And they were asking them, like, do you think the name should be changed? And people are like, no. So some of them they just don't care. They're like, I don't really know what he did or anything like that. Others are like, yeah, they probably should.
There's one down off the Donegal Road as well, over in the village. There's a Prince Andrew Park.
Is there as well?
Yeah.
No chance that's getting changed anytime soon.
I know. What about the Duke of York? I was going to say that pub in town, but
the title changes though, doesn't it?
Exactly. He's not the Duke of York anymore. So
they're just, I don't know why I came into my head, but have you ever heard people call cocaine the Prince?
No.
Prince of Wales. So it used to be Prince Charles whenever the Queen was arrived. That's why. But you can't use that anymore. It has to be the King now.
Yeah.
Which is
funny. There's a bit of graffiti on the Lower Newtonards Road that just says "God bless Charlie." And every time I go past it, I'm like, is that someone that's coked off their nut or a big loyalist?
Could just
or
be
both.
Someone for their mate as well.
Could.
Do you know whenever
their wee dog could be called Charlie? Like?
Do you ever see whenever you're driving up like a carriageway or something, there's the bed sheets, Happy 50th Tracy?
Oh, aye.
Could be something like that, but just they wanted a permanent fixture.
Yeah. Although they've put in minimal effort if it's meant to be someone's birthday surprise.
See if it's spelled correctly, they're already winning. Do you know? How often do you see?
I actually think it says God bless Charlie.
God bless.
GAW. So
non-religious.
Nah. Yeah, those bed sheets. Like, I mean,
it's a Dan. You would think it's a Dan tradition, but it's not. Like I the way I go to work, my office would be up. You have to go to Hyde Bank, so you're over, all the big
footbridge up.
Yes, always one there.
Yeah.
The other one I can think of is when you're going past Ballybean, the footbridge there, just across from Dundonald High School.
Yeah.
Always a bed sheet on it, and it's always a 50th.
Yes, my mum and dad live up in Crumlin, like, on the Nuts Corner roundabout. There's
bed sheets up there as well.
Yeah.
Who, as you say, who does it? Who's thinking like, we'll get him a wee card?
Well, maybe it's a good way to, cut down on landfill. Just stick a old bed sheet, rather than stick it in the bin. I'll keep that for Tracy's 50th.
Do you think as well? Do you know the way there's like a weird period when, if like you get birthday cards, you always put them up in the fireplace or like you put them up somewhere. there's always that sort of weird thought of like when they take these down again.
I know.
Do you reckon the council have that like with the bed sheets as well? They're like, we'll give them a bit of a grace period here. We'll let them have it up
Aye.
in case they haven't seen it. You know,
It probably depends on what birthday it is. I mean, if it's someone's 100th,
oh, it has to stay there permanently.
exactly,
I would say
exactly. But yeah,
if it's like a 24th, you know,
fuck you.
yeah, no chance.
That's a waste of a
Up and
bed
down
sheet.
that day, like. But I'm thinking like the ages you always see, they're never. I want to say below 30 maybe, and very rarely you would see a 30th. It's
Yeah.
always 40th, 50th, 60th. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Do people under 30 still go for birthday cards even?
That depends on the person. Like, my man loves a birthday card,
Aye.
Mother's Day cards, and all. It's a load of bollocks. I can't.
See,
I don't understand it.
My missus, I swear to fuck, has kept like every birthday card our kids got until they were about 9.
Really?
And it's like,
What are they going to do with that?
I know, that's it. She's always like, oh, we'll keep that for their memory box. And I'm like, hang on, when you say memory box, it's like the fucking, it's like a wing of, you know, a palace you're going to need for all this stuff. And the amount of stuff, like, we went to a wedding 8 years ago. And, I mean, my son and my daughter were flower boy and, or flower girl and bride
Flower boy.
fucking page boy. That's the one I'm looking for.
I didn't even question it either. I thought that was the term.
I think it's a Tyler the Creator album, Flower Boy.
It is, yeah.
So no, they she has kept their outfits from the wedding. And like they did look really cute. They looked great, but it's like, what are you gonna do in like 20 years time? Pull it out and go, oh, here's the suit you wore.
Now, what was the wedding? Was it like if it was like a really important wedding? You know, if it was like if it was their uncle's wedding or something, it's a big day. Or if it's even your wedding, you know. But if it's just like a family friend's wedding,
It was their uncle's. It was my
Their
brother's.
uncle's.
But I mean, still, what are you gonna do with that in 20 years?
I think
Pull it out. Like you've got
you can
fucking.
try it on.
You've got loads of professional photos of the day where they look really cute, and then fucking Isla, my daughter's dress, it's just got like chocolate ice cream or something, like a permanent stain in it. I'm trying to think other stuff she's
Teeth?
kept.
Teeth.
No,
See, I know
never
some
went
people
down
do that.
road. Yeah, it's Kerry Godliman, the English comedian's got a good bit of stand up about that because I think she kept like hair and teeth
Oh.
and stuff from when our kids were really wee. Just like fucking Ed Gein, you know.
I wonder if it's like a thing, like, you know, in the future, like God forbid something happened to them. You know, they may be preparing for the chance to clone them.
Oh well,
The scientists are like, all we need is a lock of hair and a tooth.
yeah.
We'll make your child again.
Maybe I should start collecting my son's pubes off the bathroom floor just for that reason. Like.
That's brilliant. But is there anything else that you collect that's weird? Not that you personally collect, but there is some things that are nice to collect. I think my ma has my first pair of shoes somewhere.
Yeah, I
But
think we've got both kids' first pair of shoes.
That's like a big, like a hallmark sort of thing.
uh
But if you're just gonna, I don't know, it's like collecting their like P3 homework on something. Do you know what I mean?
man. Yeah.
So they look back at it when they're 20 and they're like, "Fuck, I was thick," or
Yeah.
something, or
Yeah.
they go, or it could be the other way around. Fuck, I
Well,
was.
you don't know. Like I mean, the thing I'm worried that my daughter, especially, is a hoarder. Like she keeps fucking everything. So they've both got like savings accounts with Nationwide.
Uh-huh.
And Nationwide bought over Virgin Money about 6 months ago, and everyone that has a Nationwide savings account got a 50 quid bonus. So they posted a check to my daughter for 50 quid. And we were like, right, you have to tear that off, and you've got to go down to the post office with your card, and they'll put it into your account. That's what a check, that's how it works.
Yeah.
She's like, right, no worries. And then the fucking letter, I was about to crumple it up and put it in the bin, and my daughter was like, whoa, what are you adding? And I was like, well, there's no point in keeping this. Like, you've cashed the check. And she was like, I know, but that letter was telling me I got free money. She's like, put it on the fridge. And I'm like, I'm not putting it on the fridge. So it's now just lying on the floor in a room. And she's also started collecting ring pulls. You know, the wee tab bit at the top of like a beer tin or whatever. And I know that there's a friend of mine that makes like purses, and you can make like cool wee items out of them. So I was saying to my daughter, I was like, what are you going to make out of them? And she's like, nothing, I just want to keep them.
There's worse things to be than a hoarder.
Well,
It depends
yeah.
what you're hoarding at the same time.
It
Like
depends what stage it gets to as well.
if you're like hoarding everything, like
Yeah.
you can't. You have to have 10. I can't remember what it was. There was a. Do you know one of those like cleaning programs where they go into a house that's fucking disgusting or whatever? And this one guy was a hoarder of poker sets. So usually it's like the case with chips and the cards in it. That was all they collected, and there was like thousands. Like they would stack up against the walls. And it was like whenever I saw it, I was wondering like, how do you get to that point where you like it's borderline of like, are you getting horned out by it? Is what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, well, maybe,
are you sexually attracted to the
maybe it
poker
worked
sets?
for Gamblers Anonymous and was like trying to save people
confiscating all their equipment.
I used to work in a doctor's surgery, like in reception, and so there was a few hoarder patients that were like clearly mentally unwell, like, but you know, social workers and family members and the doctors and all, like they would have compiled sort of like evidence basically saying, look, we need to get this guy help.
Yeah,
because some of them had fucking like sheep living in the house and stuff, and
that was their thing that they were hoarding.
But the thing was, they were like, no, I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
so, like,
what's the harm?
The social workers and all couldn't do anything.
Now, was it like to the point where like how many sheep were in the house?
Well, honestly, I saw like they had photos and all in their notes, and some of them were just unbelievable.
Like if the house is in disarray and like it's like a dangerous living if it's like unclean and everything, but if it's the guy with a couple of sheep and he's cleaning up after them,
no, it was like knee deep in liver.
Oh, maybe that's the issue.
And then I remember as well, like, because I worked in a state agency as well. I've got a bit about the holy trinity of cunts. I've been a double glazing salesman, a GP's receptionist, and an estate agent. So yeah, but like working, there was. After the credit crunch in like 2007, 2008, I was working in a estate agency in Edinburgh, and there was just constant stream of houses being repossessed that we would put on the market, but you had to go around. I remember there was one flat, and you couldn't walk on the floor because it was just covered in empty cans and bottles. And one of my colleagues was around taking photos in it to say to the fucking company that had repossessed it, look, you need to get someone in to clean this professionally. But she said she was like just standing taking photos of the room, and all of a sudden something just scuttled the look. But she said you'd know, she's assuming it was a rat.
She didn't, but she couldn't tell.
You couldn't see it. God. You could just hear the bottles and the cans clanking.
It's like, you know those horror films and there's like something in the water and you can just see the water rippling. This is a load of tins of tenants.
Exactly.
If you were to hoard one thing, what would you pick?
Ooh.
Like, are you gonna pick something that like useful? I'm assuming, right, as well, that if you're hoarding it, like say you're hoarding like Mars bars, for example, you're not gonna be consuming them, really, are you? So it's not as if you can pick something that you like, do you know?
If there was Mars bars being hoarded in my house, they wouldn't last too long. Let me tell you. I don't know what would be. I can be bad for clothes. Like in the last sort of 5 years, it just. And my excuse to myself is, I'm against fast fashion.
Yeah.
But if you get stuff from charity shops, doesn't matter.
That's fine.
Or like second hand on eBay or whatever, and then every so often I'll see something, I'll be like, I want that.
Where does Ian Thomson do? I've asked this like I'm doing a fucking full on interview. Where does Ian Thomson do his shopping? Give us an exclusive.
Who is Ian Thomson?
Who is Ian Thomson?
There's actually like a really nice clothing brand that just came across last year called & Sons. They've got, I think, one shop in London and one in Bristol or somewhere, but all their clothes are really good. But then sometimes I'll just go, like I work just outside Hollywood, so the odd time on a Friday afternoon when I finish work, I'll go and have a wee peruse in the shops down there, like, and there's always, like, as you would imagine, quality stuff.
Oh, the charity shops definitely, and like it's...
Yeah, but like a charity shop in Hollywood is different to a charity shop on the Woodstock
actually,
Road.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
The thing, I used to, whenever I went to uni first, I used to use Depop. Do you know the wee app?
Oh, yeah.
And my man and dad were like, why are you getting second-hand clothes? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, what the fuck do I care? I'm assuming they've washed it before they give me it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you wash them again.
Well, give it a smell, like, and see. I have sold a few things on it, like, and I'll be honest, I don't think... If it was in my wardrobe, I'm not washing it, do you know? If it's something I've literally just worn and then I'm selling it, then I'll wash it. But like if it's in the wardrobe, I'm going to assume it's been washed.
Yeah, well, someone, whoever's receiving that at the other end, you would imagine is going to wash it as soon as they get it.
Exactly. So it's like imagine shops didn't even do it. Like they don't actually when you think about it. If you go in to try a t-shirt on, you say, "Oh, it's not for me." You put it back up. They don't wash it. Say how many times that happens.
Yeah,
with one t-shirt.
I never thought about that. And then, for underwear, they've got the wee gusset strip.
Yes.
It's more for swimming costumes, I think.
I was going to say I've never tried a pair of boxers on anywhere.
No.
Which is a shame because do you ever buy a pair of boxers and then you take them home and you try them on, you're like, I don't like these, and you're stuck with them now.
I don't know. I have a mate who is like allergic to trying things on in the shop. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't like going into the fitting room and try. So
I don't like it either, to be honest.
80% of the clothes he buys, he
Takes
home,
back.
tries them on, and takes them back to the shop and says, "This doesn't fit me."
See if I'm out shopping, I'm sweating. Don't know why. Shops are always 9 million degrees. You're walking about, It's just not. I don't feel like it's a nice environment.
Yeah,
I
I don't buy much stuff in a shop.
No, I'm online. Online. I find the brand that I know that it fits me, so I don't even need to worry about it. Sometimes you do get the odd heartbreak where a top is like a different sort of like fit than the other ones you've got.
Yeah, it's so fucking annoying that I'll take Adidas shoes as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I have maybe 5 or 6 pairs of Adidas shoes in the last few years. Like you get a size 8. I'm a size 8.
Mm-hmm.
You get one pair of Adidas shoes and they're tight as fuck as a size 8. You get another size 9.
Yeah. Too big.
Yeah, but it's like it's not standardized.
Yeah.
Fucking get it together.
Adidasler.
You pricks.
Also Nazis originally.
That's true.
And they were brothers with Puma.
Jimmy Puma.
Be great if that was his actual name, by the way.
I know, wouldn't it? Speaking of trainers, I got these.
Very nice.
They're stage shoes, but they're very handy for slipping on and off. But I was doing a gig over the summer, and driving back home, and I was like, oh, I've still time to pop into Tesco and get a few beers so I can sit in my arse and watch Match of the Day when I get home. And I was in the big Tesco on the Castlereagh Road, just in the booze aisle, trying to pick whatever beer I wanted, and I was aware of this guy to my right, slightly further down the aisle, that was sort of talking to himself and just seemed a bit dodgy. And then I could see him coming closer, and I was like, fuck, don't want to even make eye contact with this guy or anything. And then he just looked down, and I was wearing these shoes, and he just goes, "Nice shoes." And I was like, "Sorry?" And he was like, "Nice shoes." And I was like, "Oh, thanks very much, mate." And he goes, "Remember that? Remember the advert?" And I was like, No, I don't. What was that? And he goes, "You don't remember the advert?" The guy just goes, "Nice shoes." And I have no idea. I was like, "What was the advert for?" He goes, "Fuck, no, it was at least 30 years ago." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm glad you liked them." And I was sort of like, right, he's obviously harmless enough. But he was one of these guys who really hard to sort of pin down. He was probably between 50 and 60. Quite tall, big, bushy grey beard, quite built. And then I saw him slip like a fucking bottle of vodka or something into his jacket. So then I went up and paid for my beers. And as I was leaving the store, I just heard all this commotion and shouting, and looked round, and one of the security guards was over to him. And he was just like, he wasn't shouting abuse at the staff or anything. He was just shouting,
just causing a scene,
just like recreational yelling. And I was just sort of walking past him. Fuck, there's your man again. And the security guard's telling him to get out of the store. And then I walked past, and he just looked completely calm again. Goes, "Nice shoes." And then, I got home, and my son was still up, and I told him the story, and he goes, "What's the advert?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then I was googling for ages and found this fucking Nike advert from 1992, where I'm assuming that's the advert he was on about, but I have no recollection of seeing that advert before.
Must have been a good advert if it stuck with him for 30 years.
I know, but saying that, he was the type of guy who you wouldn't be surprised in his mind he still thinks it's 1992.
There was one time I was being on the bus, I was just coming out of town. I wasn't in school or anything, and a guy came up to me, and I always, if I'm out getting a bus, I'll have my earphones in, which is a true sign of just don't approach me, please. And he came up to me and he goes, I was in getting jeans today. And I goes, right, were you? And I could tell immediately from the offset, I goes, this guy's not right in the head.
Yeah.
So I took my AirPod on, I goes, right, were you? I goes, where'd you go? He goes, Primark. I says, very good. And he goes, I went to Marksy's the other week. Didn't fit me. I goes, right. And he goes, I like Primark better. And he goes, right, okay.
This is probably my mate. He went to Marks and Spencer's and took the clothes home and they didn't fit him.
Could have been. Went to Primark and the fit. He goes, I just come into the town today. I goes, did you? And he goes, I just needed to get new jeans. I was then going, what the fuck is going on here? And then he just sort of stood in silence and we got onto the bus. Well, I was getting onto the bus, sorry. And he goes, all right, mate, see you later. And I says, see you later, mate. He didn't even get on the bus. He just kept standing there.
Man, there's something very endearing about...
I love that. Like a genuine human interaction with a maniac.
A nutter, yeah. Like a good old-fashioned friendly nutter.
Yeah. A harmless one as well. Like, you don't like... There used to be one that whenever I was like 14, 15, we would have went into town. That just would have been where you hung out.
Just bum about.
Yeah. And there was one notoriously known as Peter Weddy.
Right.
And you still see him today. But he didn't really speak properly. Just he always had this big brown coat on, a big mad looking hair. And there was actually, I don't know why he got called Peter Weddy until...
he fingered you?
Well, no. See, this, I wasn't. I was no paedophiles going after me. Let's be honest here. But there was one guy who was like sitting at the smoking area in Victoria Square, and he was sitting with his girlfriend, and Peter Weddy sat down, and he could speak coherently sometimes, and he says, "Do you want to come to my flat?" And they were like, "Absolutely not," and went on. But it turned out a couple of years later, he was in Derry living. And there's those paedophiles thing videos.
Oh, aye.
He got done the paedophiles thing video, but he looks. And that, he looks clearly like a mental person.
Right, okay.
I'm not saying that that's an excuse for being a paedophile, but leave the poor pedo alone.
Yeah.
You do almost feel a bit sorry for him. I remember going into town with my granny, and I said, "There's Peter Weddy," and she goes, "God love him." He goes, "I just told you that man's a paedophile."
Well, funny, going back to Prince Andrew, like there was quite often work. I would listen to the Jeremy Vine show on Radio 2 just while I'm working, but they were talking all about him, obviously, during the week, and just some of the people you get phoning in.
Yeah.
This guy was going on, he was like, oh yeah, I've read that Virginia Giuffre was like abused as an 11-year-old and everything, so she's obviously just trying to get money. And you're like, right, A, she's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And fucking B, the money she did get, she gave to like some foundation for survivors. But it's just like, how the fuck are people defending Prince Andrew? Like?
And like, I don't know. As I say, I was never big into the royals, but I don't think he doesn't strike me as a big favourite.
No. Well, apparently he was the Queen's favourite.
Was he?
Yeah. But like, I think like former staff, people that served in the Navy with him and all have come out and go, he was just an arrogant prick. Yeah.
As you would be. See, if I was a royal, not saying I'd be a pedo, I don't think I'd go that far now, but I would be a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah.
I would go that far now.
I know, yeah. It must be quite difficult just to remain in any way grounded when you've got like that level of fame and wealth.
Yeah. And like you can, it's not even the fame and the wealth, it's the power as well. Like they can do literally anything they want. One of them married the sexy girl off Suits. You know what I mean? What does that tell you?
Yeah.
He just went, I want that one.
On that one. What about who do you think on the local comedy scene, if somebody became ridiculously wealthy, who would go full Kanye?
That's a great question. Like full neo-Nazi, hates Jews.
Just lose the fucking run on themselves completely.
Don't need to become successful to become that. I don't know. Who do you think? First, I feel like you have an answer.
I don't know. Like, it's just someone that would just...
Daniel Houston now. Good Christian man. A man of the cloth. Dark horse.
I don't know. I think Daniel would keep it together.
No. He's a dark horse.
Do you think?
There was a time in Madden's, he won't mind me telling this, he won't mind, but there was a time in Madden's, the small enough crowd, and two black guys sitting in the front row, and Daniel does a bit about drugs, and part of it he goes, look at me. Obviously, I don't take drugs. And then these two guys burst out laughing, the two black guys. And Daniel goes, "What are you laughing at? You look like you sell drugs." And he did, and he actually didn't click onto it immediately. But I think I was sitting with Adam and Kieran, and we were in stitches at it because it's a running joke that Daniel's racist. He's obviously not. And after he came off stage, he goes, "Why did I say that? Why did I say that?"
Yeah,
fellas.
man, I've had that as well. Like, funny, Madden's one night as well. I used to have a bit when I started that was like basically sort of about how ginger is an anagram of the N word.
Yes.
And like I gave it up because it was my missus that was just like, "Do you think that's racist?" And I was like, "No, because I'm not. It's clearly ridiculous."
Yeah.
And like the anagram is completely true. And then I went on to say other bits and pieces like, and she was like, "Well, I think if you have to ask yourself, is it racist? Then it's probably racist." And I was like, "I didn't ask myself that. You fucking asked me." And then, but I remember Jasmine Sierra. She had a bit about how gingers are like the African Americans of Ireland.
Right.
So I told her the bit, and I was like, "Oh, I stopped doing it because my missus was saying it." She was like, "No," she goes, "That's how is that racist?"
Yeah.
So then I brought the material back and I did it in Madden's, and I hadn't done it for like 6 or 7 years or whatever, and it's a fucking good bit, I have to say. But like, as I took to the stage, took the microphone out, and the door opened, and like 5 black people came in and just sat at the front, and I was like, "Fuck, is this racist or not?" And it wasn't, and they loved it.
Oh,
so
it's almost more racist, I think, if you don't do it, but only you will then know that it's more racist.
Do you know Rasta Mouse?
Yeah, the old cartoon.
Yeah. So I can remember that was sort of come out when my kids were really wee.
Mm-hmm.
So they used to watch Rasta Mouse all the time, and I remember like speaking to another dad about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, don't approve like Rasta Mouse. I think it's racist." And I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Just because of the accents and all." And I was
the
like,
Jamaican mouse.
I'm like, "Well, why should fucking Jamaican people not be allowed to celebrate their culture?" Like, do you think Postman Pat's racist? It's just
a white guy,
a kid's cartoon, like. But
yeah, a good point actually. Like a Jamaican person would probably be, I don't know how big the Rasta Mouse is in Jamaica. Yeah, but you imagine they'd be pretty upset. Found this out earlier on. I was just going through my analytics like a wanker, and I went on to the audience section on Spotify for creators. 0.6% of my audience. Guess where they are?
Jamaica,
Nigeria.
Oh,
don't know what the Nigerian greeting is, but hello, my Nigerian brothers.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is in Nigeria. Actually, coincidentally, I did remember reading an article where somebody was criticising Rasta Mouse, who was from the West Indies,
right?
Because the actor, I can't remember his name. He used to have a show on Radio 1. The guy that voiced Rasta Mouse was actually Nigerian.
Really?
And he of Nigerian heritage. And he had nothing. He'd never been to Jamaica. He had no Jamaican family. So there was a Jamaican guy saying, "Well, why is there a Nigerian in him?"
I can borderline, fair enough. At least it's a black guy, is what I'm saying. You know? I'm assuming the guy's black if he's from Nigeria, but at least it's not like a white guy, like Apu from The Simpsons.
Yeah, true.
Great character. It's a bit of a crying shame that they took him out.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Short Circuit, the robot movie?
Don't think so.
No, it's like it was a late 80s sort of kids movie, but there's an Indian guy in it. It was only a few years ago I was listening to a podcast and they were like, "Oh no, he was white, just like browned up for the movie." And then the same actor, I can't remember his name, but he was in Succession, right? And I was like, "Fuck me!" Like I couldn't believe it was the same guy. Like,
was he like a child in the kids' film?
No, he would have been probably in his early 20s in the kids.
Was
movie.
it Brian Cox? Was it Brian Cox?
No, it wasn't. I can't remember the guy's name. But
didn't realise Succession. Have you watched it?
Yeah,
I haven't. I tried to get into it, couldn't get into it, but I've been meaning to go around it again. Didn't realise until the other day that it's basically entirely based on the Murdoch family. I was watching a dead interesting video about them, and there are other people like with the amount of power, wealth, fame, and everything they have. One of them's bound to be a paedophile.
Yeah,
Rupert's a ball bag, which is okay.
Uh-huh.
There's worse things to be,
True.
but one of the kids or something, because they've grown up very privileged.
Yeah, but growing up very privileged doesn't equate to paedophilia. Like,
True. I don't think, but some of them it gets to their head sometimes. Although they do work, I will say that they've all worked.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe
it's
not
like the royal
fucking-
family just sitting on your arse.
Aye, exactly. But I think is Rupert Murdoch like 90 odd now?
Oh, I think he's older than 90.
Is he?
I think so.
He's and he was still working until very recently.
Uh-huh.
Why is it that they can live so long? People with that amount of money.
Don't know. Probably just having fucking blood transfusions and all.
Is
that
what it-
tech guy? I can't remember his name. Who, like, his goal is to live forever.
I've seen this guy, and he's like 40 odd, and he's like taking the stem cells from his son.
Yeah, I think that's been exaggerated.
It's something along those lines. He's like doing blood transfusions with his son or something.
He was
like
on
he's-
Louis Theroux's podcast.
Was he? Right.
And he is very interesting, and I think he did like some sort of transfusion
Yeah.
involving his son's blood once,
Yeah.
and then like all the newspapers are like, "Oh, he's basically a vampire."
He doesn't even look that young though. Like he looks like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
I think he looks the age that he is.
See, when he was on that, he was talking about the importance of overnight boners to your health, right? And he was saying, honestly, he's got some wee thing that's basically like, it's like a wee band that's kind of like
Electric
stamps.
shocks him. Oh right.
No. So he wraps around his cock when he goes to bed, and then in the morning, if it's ripped, he knows he had a boner overnight. It's like, I mean, and I can't remember how many different tablets he takes every day. All these.
Oh, it's like
supplements.
hundreds, isn't it,
Yeah.
as well?
Aye.
I want to know that. I want to go more on this overnight boner situation because, for all I know, I could be the healthiest man alive.
Well, I should be dead.
I thought you were going to say it's like something that stimulates him, that like gets him a boner when he's not able to himself. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean this.
Maybe that's something I could pop.
I
to
don't
him.
know what the scientific thought behind it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're doing well if you're still getting overnight boners, which
Must-
is long gone for me.
Must be so nice having the amount of money you can worry about overnight boners.
I know.
Most working men have to worry about awake boners. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Daytime boner. Well,
Yeah.
maybe late evening boners.
Yeah, it is quite funny having a 15-year-old son. Like, you just, we're away on holiday, staying in like a sort of big mobile home caravan thing on a campsite, and he gets out of bed and there's just like a Sammy bouncing about, and you're like, fucking put that away, like just get rid of it. You just see it.
You don't want him to do that in the mobile home, mind you. You don't want to be getting rid of it.
No, but I just remember like inconvenient boners at that age, like.
Oh yeah.
And I was in boarding school as well, so you used to fucking jump out of bed.
Aye.
And like, you could just see fucking everyone sort of bouncing along, or else walking, crouched
in between
over.
their
Yeah,
legs. Getting boners in school was the worst.
yeah.
Always the worst.
I know, because it was like for no good
No
reason.
reason. I always found, right, and I actually got it a bit more in later life in like a warm office. If the room was warm and I was tired, I'm getting a boner, and I don't know why. Don't know. There's something about a warm room whenever I'm a bit sleepy gets me a bit horned out apparently.
The hangover horn.
But it used to one of the worst. There needs to be a scientific study done on why that happens. I think
Someone did explain it to me once, but I can't remember why.
I'm a different man on a hangover, like, and I'm actually ashamed of myself. Saying
Uh-huh.
on a Monday morning, I'm looking at my phone, going, "What was going through my mind?"
Yeah.
But I would love to know. Is it maybe like your blood sugars are low or something? All the blood's going to your cock, maybe. I don't know.
Might be it. Do you know what I watched last night? I don't know why, but for a few weeks I've been thinking, I must watch that movie again. Full Metal Jacket.
Great
Stanley
film.
Kubrick.
Yeah.
But the scenes with the drill sergeant, in the dormitory,
Yeah.
it reminded me of, there was a program in about 2002, 2003 called Bad Lads Army, where they took like a lot of young offenders and people that had narrowly escaped going to prison, and it was this reality TV show where they basically put them through military training for World War II. And yeah, there was just a bit of watching that movie last night that reminded me of a scene. There was a guy called Corporal Iacus. He was like half Cypriot, and he came in the morning. You see, he's shouting at all these boys to get out of bed, all these prisoners, and there was one that obviously had a semi, like, because they pixelated him just walking along the thing, and your man Corporal Iacus just looked at him and went, "Get rid of it." But it was just such a bit. He didn't have to say anything else. Just get rid of it.
That would get rid of it. I think having
I think so. Yeah.
a corporal shouting at you to get
Oh,
rid of
aye.
it. Maybe that's what I need in the morning.
He was good looking corporal though.
So maybe it's going to make things worse. Never mind the semi up full route.
I'd just go back to bed and crack one off.
It would be hard to do it in a dormitory. I imagine it would have been difficult in boarding school. Did you have like a rota?
No, he just became very discreet. Jordan Robinson used to have a brilliant bit about it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think he still does it from time to time because he was in boarding. He was in the same boarding school as me, but like
Aye.
14 years later.
What was it, Campbell?
Methody?
Do they have boarding there?
Not anymore.
No,
but,
right.
But it closed maybe 10 or 15 years ago. But yeah, Jordan said that like that was one of the skills that he learned from boarding school.
Discreet
was
wanking.
like how to have a wank with 14 other people in the room and get away with it. And he's like, you know, you could do it on stage and go, you know, for all you guys know, I could be cracking one off right now and you wouldn't even notice. But sorry for burning your material there, Jordy, if you're watching.
What was the sort of like clientele like in a boarding school? Because I have a friend went to school with me when he did boarding in Kabul for a while, and then he moved to our school. But he said a lot of Asian students.
Yep, there was quite a lot of students from Hong Kong, Malaysia. I can still do quite a lot of impressive swearing in Cantonese.
I thought you were going to say impressions, and I was really hoping you would do a Hong Kong impression there.
Well, Sao Lam Pei Lao Wong Pokej means something quite racist. Because they would teach you this stuff to say to the other ones. And you didn't know what it was. I think Ban Chow Tao is dickhead.
In Cantonese?
Yeah. Deo Lelio Mo is fuck your mother. So, yeah, it was an eclectic mix because, I mean, you had people obviously from here.
Yep.
And then there was just like random people. There was a guy who was in my year from the Gambia, and like he was
the Gambia. I don't know if it's called that anymore.
Well, a lot of people say the Gambia. He used to refer to it as the Gambia, which is why I always
white
say,
guy.
Huh?
Was he a white guy?
No.
Oh, right.
But it's like, I mean, this is 1993 in Belfast, and it wasn't anywhere near as diverse as it is now. Like, I remember like walking into town after school with him, and people like from across the road would be like, "Oh, Abu," and I was like, "Who's that?" And he'd be like, "No idea." Like, he just was famous. But yeah, at first I didn't really like it, but then it just became like, you know what fucking you're like as a teenage boy arsing about with your mates.
Yeah.
24/7.
Permanently like it. I actually think I quite like the idea of it, to be honest.
It was really good crack. Like, but yeah.
I mean, I think like I grew up with a neighbour Keith. God forgive if he's listening. Like, but you know, I probably would have been better off if I stayed with a load of Malaysians. You know what I mean? Probably would have been better crack.
You wouldn't be able to swear in Malaysian.
We did have the guy who boarded actually in Campbell. He did live in China for a while. His dad worked over there, so he came back and he taught us a load of swear words. But he kind of looks Asian. It's weird. He has like the skin complexion, so he looks like half Asian,
right?
But he's not. It's very, very interesting. But and he just was over there for a while.
Maybe it just sort of seeped into him.
Bit of evolution. Bit of evolution.
Yeah.
Just sort of like whenever you put a pair of socks that are the wrong colour in the washing machine. Not the wrong colour, but a different colour. A different colour.
Maybe I should go and live in Gambia and see if you get a big cock. Sorry, that was a crude racial stereotype. I do apologise.
It is true though.
True.
At the same time.
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking... I would hate if people were saying that about me. Oh, them fellas there, they've massive cocks.
I can remember, like, Abu, like that guy from Gambia, he used to, like, flip up. So he would lie down in his bed and then flip up on, like, the crotch of his pajamas. He would, like, just bite it, and he was like, you know, if I wanted to, I could suck my own cock. No bother.
That's insane. Why didn't he want to?
Maybe he did.
He definitely did once.
I mean...
You know,
it was tricky enough to have a wank with 14 other people in the room, so sucking yourself off in a boarding school is not going to be that easy.
Just shaped like a pretzel in your bed. What's he up to over there, I wonder?
You alright? You having trouble sleeping?
If you could do it, this podcast taking a turn, if you could do it, would you do it?
I would give it a go.
I think the problem is it's still a dick in your mouth. But then if you think about it as well, having a wank's a dick in your hand, but it feels a lot less personal.
True.
That way.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones where you'd maybe do it once and then be like, it's actually kind of gay.
Yeah. At my stage in life, my level of flexibility on the size of my cock, it's a very hypothetical question.
Oh, we're all hypotheticals here. Do you know what I mean? We've all got parameters that we need to get behind. I don't know. There was always the rumor that your man Marilyn Manson removed the rib.
Well, I remember that same rumor being used about Axl Rose and Prince.
Really?
Yeah, like it's just one of those, like, probably now kids are saying it about fucking, I don't know, Justin Bieber or something.
True. I wonder who starts it. That kind of rumor, because it's global.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Well, it's global in a Western sense, but I wonder who the first guy to start. They probably don't even know.
Well, there was probably someone didn't.
What? Oh, remove the rib?
No. Well, possibly, yeah. No, I wouldn't imagine so.
I don't imagine that would even give you the flexibility required to do it.
No.
There's no way. Like, logistically, not possible.
And, like, you know, it's pretty unethical. Can you imagine going to your GP and going, I was just wondering, like, I don't know if this is available in the NHS.
There's some guy with 90 sheep in his house behind you in the line going, any chance here, mate?
I'd really like to suck my own cock, but these pesky ribs are getting in the way. The doctor's like, no worries, I'll just write you a referral here.
Yeah, I suppose it's the early gender reaffirming care, I suppose,
yeah.
in a sense. No, who do you think is the most likely out of those three? If it was possible, say this procedure.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, freaky guy. Prince and Axl Rose have fucking sex slaves doing it for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Voluntary sex slaves.
Of course, that's what I mean. But
you don't want the Prince estate coming after us.
Or was Prince gay?
No.
There's always one I was never sure about.
Yeah.
Do you know the way you get ones like George Michael, for example? When I listened to a lot of George Michael for some reason.
George Michael's got
great.
some bangers.
Oh yeah, but didn't like I knew he was gay because he was out by the time he died. But you listen to his songs, he's quite clearly singing about women. I was thinking, you know, why was he doing that? And then obviously realised it was a taboo thing to be at the time.
Yeah. Well, it still is for some people, like, which, you know, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, of course.
But, you know, there's definitely a lot of people still in the closet because they're just, it's been drilled into them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, from a young age that homosexuality is wrong.
I find it mad that there's never been an out Premier League football player.
I know, that is nuts.
It's unbelievable because it isn't believable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, completely.
There has to be one.
Aye.
There was always a rumour about Reece James.
Ronaldo as well. Like, there's question marks there. You could see Cristiano Ronaldo being...
Have you watched The Boys?
No.
Oh, there's a running joke that Ronaldo is a character from The Boys called Homelander.
Right.
Homelander's he's like Superman, but he loves himself, and it is Ronaldo. Like when you realise, you see the comparison, the way he talks about himself and everything. I don't even think he's gay. I think he would buck himself.
Yes.
As another man, but I don't know if he was strictly gay, you know, that sort of thing. But I feel like he would also be too obsessed with his own image to want it to come out that he's gay, do you know, because he's like idolised as a big footballer. I don't know. Yeah,
well, I mean, you can understand if you were a Premier League or any top level footballer.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to have balls of steel to come out of the closet while you're still playing. Like
100%. There was a guy now, I think, in Australia.
Yeah.
Came out. He was the first football player to come out, which is mental to think about.
Yeah.
But then I think you're opening yourself up to criticism, obviously unfair criticism. Do you know what I mean? But and so you can almost understand why they don't at the same time. But it's one of those ones where obviously they should be able to, but it's just the way the football fans are obviously a very fucking. Well, it's a spectrum. You know, you've got you know, obviously the right wing, you know, casuals that you would still have even today. But then you have teams that, you know, you can call them moke, like St. Pauli.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Their captain has like a pink mullet or something.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think he had a mullet that was pink at one point. And you like, where was the other team? Forest Green Rovers, vegan team.
I had a purple skull at one stage as well.
I remember that. Is it making a return at any point?
I very much doubt it. I would need some very heavy persuasion to go.
Could you feel it? Like, was it annoying? How long have you been bald for, actually?
Like most of my life now. So it was probably 25 when I shaved my head. So it was sort of like yours, but with a wee slice of turkey on the top. And yeah, then I just gradually took it all away. You
just accepted it was going?
Oh, I'd accepted it was going whenever I was probably about 13. Because like my dad and his brother are bald. Their dad was bald. My mum had 5 brothers that were all bald. Her dad was bald. So it was pretty much inevitable. Like,
it's not looking good for me genetically wise. Although what I will say is, my hairline isn't necessarily receding. It's just always been like this.
Yeah.
So it is.
I was thinking about this recently. It's like, you know, with sort of hair transplants and Monjaro and everything else, it was like bald fat cunts are going to become extinct. Which is a shame.
I'm keeping us alive, brother. Don't you worry. I'm keeping the dream alive. I would never get a hair transplant because I just think it's. I'll tell you why, actually. And I was talking about this to my granny when I was in Spain with her. You can't wank for like a week after if you get a hair transplant. You can't wank. You can't go in the swimming pool. Obviously, can't have sex. You can't have sex if you can't wank. There are all these like fucking things that you have to do in the recovery period.
Why can you not have a wank?
No idea. I have no clue. But it's like one of the top 3 things you can't do when you get a hair transplant.
That's nuts.
For like a week. It might be longer, to be honest. It's so I've never noticed how much I use my scalp when wanking. But apparently it's a muscle that gets used plenty.
I must be doing it wrong.
But I know it's. They don't appeal to me. I also feel like everyone knows what I look like now. If I was to just rock up with, obviously you've to cut about with the dots all over your head for a while, and then your head swells up and all. That would be a bit weird for people to see. But also, like, if I just came out with a full fringe, people are going to be like, "You don't look like that."
Yeah. So I mean, if there was a way of doing it,
like, would you have got it when you were younger? Like, if the technology was available then? I say that as if it's like fucking smartphones or something.
No, but you're right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I probably would have done.
Would you?
But then it's also the cost of it you've got to consider.
It is expensive procedure, and the fact if you go to Turkey for it.
But weirdly, like, I mean, honestly, I can remember being in school and people coming along, like brushing your hair, like someone sweeping your hair aside and going, "Oh, I'm gonna see who's going bald, who's gonna have hair," and like one of the guys come up behind me, he was like, "Fuck me," he goes, "You're definitely gonna be bald." So I was like, "No bother," and I like. Even when my mates were slagging me, it's like they weren't sure whether to slag me for being ginger or being bald anymore. Like they were sort of caught in the middle, and but I was like, you know, when they were slagging me, I was like, wait, I'm fucking going to be bald.
Did many of them go bald themselves as well?
Oh, that's the hilarious thing. Some of them are doing it. Some of them are going bald now.
Oh,
and they're so fucking sensitive,
holding on to it.
Yeah, and then I have another mate as well who, you know, he would have given you dog's abuse for being ginger, then married a ginger and has a ginger son, and like he was telling me about his son getting abuse for being ginger at school, and I was like, "What the fuck are you telling me? Like you are telling me about this?" So I was like, "I think you used to do that yourself."
My dad's also ginger, but now bald. He had luscious locks. He had fucking ginger curtains.
Yeah.
And then I
so did I at one stage.
Did you?
Yeah.
It must be like a, I don't know, what did you, or
46.
Roughly, like, my dad's a wee bit older than you. Maybe it's like a, but I feel like around that time was being bald not more acceptable, because you do see, maybe it's just because a lot of people lose their hair, but you do see a lot of fellas in that age category are just bald now.
Yeah.
And no one really, I don't know. Would you give, like, would people give, like, people your own age give you stick for being bald? Because I think it's just an accepted thing.
Well,
when you get to a point,
probably not anymore. Like, I've always gone for sort of self-deprecation.
Yes.
So I would have slagged myself about being ginger and being bald. So I don't think any of my mates really do, because, but when I was like 22 or 23, they would have done, like, and I said they were sort of caught in that no man's land and not knowing whether to slag me off for being ginger or bald, and then they come up with a convenient nickname, which was Ginger Baldy Bastard, which covered both bases, you know.
And that's all you need, really.
Yeah.
I think if you're a man and you're looking at another bald man and you don't see baldness as anything other than freeing, I just think, you know, you're not looking at it in the right perspective. I look at a beautiful bald head and I think, what liberation that must feel like to just be like, I don't need it.
Do you know something? My son is 14, and like my missus, her dad was bald, and we've sort of said to him, you know, it's pretty much inevitable for you, and he's like, I can't wait. And I don't think I've ever heard someone say that. Like,
you don't need to, by the way.
15 years old, I was like 10 years maximum.
I have a friend, same age as me, completely bald, but like, and I think if you get in early, you suit it.
Yep.
There's no point, as you say, people, you know, in their 30s or 40s holding on to it, because then it's going to be more of a shock to everyone. You know, when you finally come out. But if you're like 20 odd and you're just like, fuck it, I'm bald now.
Yeah.
I didn't always have a call it a buzz cut, I suppose. I had my hair was atrocious. It's like a cow's lick, so I just give it a buzz cut one day, and I thought it's low maintenance.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? It's an easy haircut.
That was the one thing about having that skullet. It was just like, I'd not used shampoo for about 20 years, and just like actually having to dry your hair and all that. This is, how do people do this every day?
How can you be bothered?
Exactly. And then because it was so ridiculous looking, I would have had a baseball cap on a lot of the time. But you see, then, like in the middle of summer when there was like a mini heat wave, and you were pushing a lawnmower, I like sweat just lashing off me, like, but I still didn't want to take the baseball cap off,
because people have seen you with the bit of hair coming out the back. At least they're thinking that's the guy with a full head of hair on him.
Do you know, that was the cheapest joke I got. It was brilliant. So I would come on stage and just fucking pick on a bald guy and just give him dog's abuse for fucking being bald, and then just take the hat off and just set it on the mic stand. So it was a very, very cheap laugh.
The only thing I would worry about, I think, is getting sunburnt. As a landscape gardener, you're gonna get that. Like,
I got pretty good this year with the sun cream, but I should probably wear it a lot more frequently than I do.
Do you need to go different factors than you do the rest of your body?
No. I got there was some, I think it's called Altruist. You can only buy it online,
right?
But it's not scented and it's not like greasy. It just seems to rub in. And I think you can only get it in like factor 50.
Right. Okay.
Because there's been times before when I've just used like Nivea or whatever sun cream, and it's just like so greasy on your hands.
Because you're ginger and bald at the same time, so your skin's naturally gonna be
fucked.
Yeah, basically. Although in saying that, my dad tans. I don't. I have the opposite. I would get burnt like fuck. But I have pretty ginger arms. If you would like, the freckles.
They're
do you know
probably
what I mean?
gingerer than mine.
I think so, and I'm not a very hairless guy, to be honest. But I would get really badly burnt. So I have like ginger skin, but not ginger hair, which makes me think my child's going to be ginger.
You never know.
It skips is your son ginger?
No,
it skips a generation. I think
it's actually, you need a ginger on each side of the family
to produce another one.
I think so. Yeah. So it was my missus that told me that, because she really wanted a ginger kid.
Right. And she was going through Ancestry.com trying to figure out if there's any gingers.
That's why she settled for me. She's like, he'll do. No, I think whenever, before we had kids, she said, and then did a bit of Googling and was like, no, it's not going to happen.
No, not possible.
Afraid not.
Ian, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. I just realised the time there. I am going to play paddle today.
Oh, really?
Again,
Fair play.
Flat out at the minute. I'm trying to come pro. So I am. But it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Any gigs coming up?
Don't know. I've got gigs this week. I'm doing the Pavilion tomorrow night.
This will come out today, so it'll
Monday night at the Pavilion, headlining, Big Dog,
Go
whatever,
ahead.
Get over it. Tuesday night, Ulster Sports Club, Out of Ideas. Thursday night, The Terrace in Macrofelt, which is a belter.
Is that coming back? Is McKegney running that again?
I think Fenton's running it now.
Right, okay.
But I think they're only going to do it every 3 months or something,
right.
maybe. And then on Sunday, I'm doing Thomson's Garage with Paddy McDonnell, which should be good.
Oh, wow, yes, that
well.
gig.
So,
and then where can people find you?
On Instagram, it's Ian Thomson, etc. Ian Thomson Comedy on Facebook. And that's about it. I should get a TikTok account, but I can't.
You
be
should.
arsed.
That's what I think I was saying this to Kieran the other day. You'd be so much bigger if you put out stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Completely.
Because I'll put up a few clips of this. Don't worry. So
Good boy.
we'll collab. Good boy.
Yeah.
I just got called. I kind of like that. What have I got coming up? Fuck all, to be honest. Wafflers actually will be out next week. This time Ian was on it. Actually, didn't even speak about that. I completely forgot about that.
Aye.
So I did. Wafflers will be coming out here on Halloween, hopefully, depending with how long we can get it produced. So keep an eye out for that. Ian was on it. Willie was on it. Shane was on it. Of course, me, Daniel, and Kieran were on it. It was a good time. Did you enjoy it?
It was good fun.
Hopefully it comes out well. I think it should do. They recorded and everything for us. But apart from that, see you next week. Thanks very much, Ian.
Thank you for having me. Goodbye.